inte gå dig. Min jord, jag håller på dig. Du är stark och du är skön. Och din mark.
Pierre Isacsson, Hemma, Home. What a nice home with a open fire and a guitar here in the corner. Very nice. Well, from one deep voice to another, but this one is not internationally known, and in Sweden mainly known for his greatest hit, which was a bit of a novelty number. Singer and songwriter Pierre Isacsson started his career with the vocal groups Country 4 in the 1960s and Family 4 in the early 1970s. When he issued his first solo album in 1974, he had an immediate hit with the song Då går jag ner i min källare. Then I Go Down to My Basement, a song that suited his deep bass voice fine, and it's one of the very few songs that contains the idea of, instead of raising the key when repeating the chorus, lowering it to make the vocals in the chorus even deeper and booming, more boomier. During the period 1974 to 1977, Pierre Isacsson had several hits in Sweden, even most of them are forgotten today. It's a bit unfair to look on Pierre Isacsson as just a singer with a deep bass voice, since he knew how to sing in many different styles, and he could even sing fairly high notes, and did so on his albums. My favorite of his albums is the third one, this one, Hemma, at Home, from 1976. And like many other picks on this list, it's a lot about nostalgia, but not just nostalgia, since it is a very well recorded album with some superb songs. If you want the music, you need to find it an original vinyl version, because this has not been reissued on CD, and I don't think you can find it on any streaming music web pages or, well, stuff like that. Anyway, one of the better cover versions that he made was the Swedish version of Michel Fugain's Bravo Monsieur Le Monde, that you could hear a short extract from in the beginning of this video. This was one of the albums that you could find in my maternal grandparents' record collection, and I know that it was one of my grandmother's absolute favorites. So whenever I listen to this album, I remember my early childhood, and I also think of my grandmother Ines, who passed away on Boxing Day 2010. Well, in the late summer of 1994, I saw a Swedish TV show with musical guests, and Pierre Isacsson appeared there, and I hadn't heard anything from him for several years, even if I knew that he had been working as an actor in the 1980s. He was of course asked to play his old hit Då går jag ner i min källare, and he did that more dutifully than enthusiastically. But he also had the opportunity to play a very nice new song from an album he said he was working on, and I was very pleased to hear that he was going to start recording material for a new album, his first since 1977. That album was not to happen though, since he was performing on the ship Estonia that sank September 28, 1994, and people have told us that Pierre Isacsson helped many of the people on the ship to escape to safety, but Pierre Isacsson couldn't swim and drowned. He didn't follow the ship down and is buried at the Bromma graveyard in Stockholm. Some years ago, a man called Per Viker, another Pierre Isacsson enthusiast, started writing a blog about Pierre Isacsson. And material from that blog later turned into a book called Jag vill andas samma luft som du, en bok om Pierre Isacsson. So the memory of his artistry is kept alive that way, but I can't help thinking that I would so much have liked to hear that Pierre Isacsson album that wasn't recorded. I bet it would have been one of the best Swedish albums for years.